Hello and welcome to Inside Grand Prix 2014, the most explosive new beginning ever. We check out the new rules.
My engine's 1.6.
My first car had more than that.
What?
Also on Inside Grand Prix, who'll win the title in 2014?
It's not simple.
Now it's time to win.
Off we go, the first Formula One race in Australia. The World Tour begins. The first race is near the international date line. Melbourne. After a long winter, it's here that the sun rises on Formula One.
We come from Europe and here the weather is much more warm and this is welcome. It's a perfect place to start the season.
Australia's a cool race to go to. It's the opener of the season and the weather's always great fans, and it's great to start on the street circuit.
Transforming Albert Park into a race circuit requires lots of energy and manpower. Grandstands, pit lanes, curbs and kiosks. On Grand Prix weekend, over 320,000 fans flood into Albert Park. Not least to welcome their beaming compatriot.
Definitely, prepared and excited for Australia. It's going to be, I'm sure something like I've never experienced before. Now being the sole Australian driver and moving up to the top team on the grid, there's going to be, even more attention around me. I'm aware of that.
Australian rules football, rugby, cricket, and surfing. Those are Australia's passions, high-speed adrenaline kicks and the most wicked of turns. It's a place where Formula One drivers feel at home. Australia's fantastic because they've got great beaches here, great people and a great atmosphere. The nightlife's terrific too. There's lots of good restaurants and the food in the country's awesome. Everything simply fits.
Go back.
A challenge of an unfamiliar kind as the world champion puts himself to the test in a new discipline. But he's not the fastest. Normally it takes 3 minutes to shear a sheep. For him, 10 times as long. But who cares?
Just a little bit outside of Melbourne, you have the opportunity to do lots of things and to be basically, closer to the nature.
When the sun sets on the ocean, it won't be much longer until the first roar of the new V6 turbo engines. A new era under new rules.
So Lewis, what do you think of the rule changes for 2014?
What rule changes? What was he talking about?
What rule changes are you talking about?
Guys, the new rules. Maybe it's better if Inside Grand Prix explains the key changes once again, because they're
The biggest change in regulation in Formula One since Formula One exists.
Es gibt im Moment unheimlich viel zu
At the moment, there's an awful lot to learn because so much is new. As a driver, you need to get to grips with it all quickly so that you can ultimately keep your nose in front.
immer die Nase vorne zu haben.
Apropos nose, never have they been so varied as now. For safety reasons, the chassis height's been reduced. The front of the nose has to be 315 millimeters lower. Aerodynamically, the cars have been completely redesigned.
Working in simulation and in the simulator has been ongoing for at least 2 years on this year's car project. With a change to the new power unit, there's a huge amount of learning we can do there. Initially setting all the bases of what the design target should be and the various trades.
A loud hum in place of an aggressive roar. The power unit, a V6 internal combustion engine with 8 gears, turbocharger and a full 1.6 cc.
My engine's 1.6. What?
My first car had more than that.
Now hang on a minute, it's not that bad. After all, this is Formula One. The power unit combines a turbocharged direct injection V6 engine with an advanced hybrid energy recovery system to become the most advanced power unit in the history of Formula One. The new engine regulations require downsizing from a 2.4-litre V8 to a 1.6-litre V6. Maximum revs have dropped from 18,000 RPM to 15,000. To achieve higher and more efficient power output, the new V6 is fitted with a turbocharging system and high-pressure direct fuel injection. This turbocharger uses the otherwise wasted exhaust gas to push more fresh air into the combustion chamber for enhanced fuel efficiency. Before reaching the air intake, the additional air is cooled down by an intercooler. The hybrid system is called the energy recovery system. It has two electrical devices called motor generator units and the battery called the energy store. For short, ERS, 160 horsepower extra boost for over 30 seconds per lap.
The engine itself is easy enough to install, but then of course you've got the turbocharger, the intercoolers, the electrical side in terms of the motor generator units, where the batteries, much bigger batteries. Bigger batteries mean bigger conditioning boxes for the batteries. It also means more cooling for those batteries, so that means more radiators on top. So roughly speaking, the radiator area on the car has doubled compared to a V8. And that of course is another challenge, how you cool the car with such a big heat rejection requirement.
Hot air, cool head, efficient driving. This year the drivers have to contest the full race distance with just 100 kilograms of fuel.
We'll certainly have to drive the races differently. In terms of how we drive, we'll no longer be able to take every lap at the limit, or we'd be out of fuel before the end. We've got to learn a whole load of new things. The engine has to be fuel efficient, powerful and robust because teams can only use 5 engines all year for 19 races. It used to be 8.
I mean, the only thing that's missing is that you now tell me like we're doing double points just for the last race or something. I mean, that would be rubbish too, wouldn't it?
Well, doing it, we are. At the final race of the season, the winner will get double points, 50, second place, 36, and so on. It's designed to stop the title being decided too soon, and instead to guarantee tension right to the end.
We may see a bit of a change of order on the grid to what we used to. So I think it's going to be a great year and one that will be under constant change, I'm sure.
The F1 season 2014. A host of challenges and surprises for drivers, engineers and fans.
I'm gonna go.
Inside Grand Prix rankings. How will the top 5 teams of 2013 do this year? A new hand of Formula One poker is about to be played. Which team has the ace up its sleeve? Whose luck will change? McLaren, all in. Last season was the worst for the team since 1980. Not a single podium finish. Ending up 5th, almost 200 points behind main rivals Lotus. They'd clearly gambled and lost. So now they're waging everything on one card, downforce. The rear axle's wishbones act as additional wings. The speed is good. In all testing, the McLaren drivers are up with those at the front, which is down not just to the car. There is, for example, a promising rookie named Magnussen and ex-Lotus team principal Bouyer. Oh, yes, and of course, Jenson Button, now the longest-serving driver.
With my experience, I know what I can do with the car to develop it and to put it somewhere where it feels comfortable for me.
Lotus, a poor hand. Last year, still a good 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Indeed, 14 times on the podium. But now all trump cards appear gambled away. Kimi gone, money gone, team principal gone. They were also the only team to miss winter testing in Jerez. The Lotus lads made light of that. In second testing, they show themselves to be the best Renault team. The problems with the rebellious engine appear resolved. Then a dreadful final test, terrible lap times and the lack of reliability's back. It's going to be hard to match last year's achievements. Ferrari, good cards, lots of pressure.
Now it's time to win.
Ferrari hold not one, but several aces. Outstanding drivers, new technical head and a new wind tunnel, and the F14T. Last year, just third place. All that counts now is the title. With two champions, they're sounding the attack. Tests prove it. The car's going well and recording good lap times. But trump cards or not, the Iceman, as usual, is maintaining his poker face.
I don't think the cars will be so much different than last year, and I don't think as a drivers we can have a lot of influence.
Red Bull, a lot to lose. After testing, the world champion team's new car shows major weaknesses. Cooling problems force Adrian Newey back to the drawing board, still facing lots of work ahead of the first race. The Renault engine is the big killjoy. Even Caterham are managing more laps. Another question mark. The new teammate, can Ricciardo match up to Webber's points tally?
It's not all, it's not simple.
And what's the view from Vettel? Up to now, a jackpot guarantee for Red Bull.
After three, 4 races, you might be in a better place to judge, how good you are or how bad you are compared to the others.
Mercedes, a perfect game. Gold this year could go to silver, our title favourites. Performance in testing has shown one thing. The F1 W05 was ready to go racing from the very first test. Reliability and strength is the key to the championship crown. The power unit combines both. Best times for Mercedes in every test.
The test is not to go out and show your cards. It's like a game of poker, you don't want to show your cards too soon.
Who's bluffing? Who's really got the best hand? The showdown at the race in Australia. In Formula One, only he who wagers the most wins. So, all in. A short break to recharge the batteries. Then Vettel and Alonso explain the Albert Park circuit. And we take a look at the new boys, so don't go away.